Hey everybody, my friends, my followers, my stalkers. In this video I will explain how I did the 3 cycling workouts in one day. It was one Saturday, the rainy one, so yeah, it was a perfect day to be in the gym on the watt bike, so the indoor cycling bike, all day trying to play around with some stuff that I will talk about in this video. Maybe you're wondering why would somebody do like 3 workouts in a single day? So why wouldn't you just go for one very long workout? Why would you split it into 3? Or why wouldn't you do them one day after the other, so 3 days in a row? There's much more to it. I didn't invent anything new, but let's just go briefly. How was I introduced to the idea of 3 trainings? So when I was doing the certification for Strength Sensei, the master's level or something like this, we were learning about neurotyping and the neurotransmitters, how they work, and how can you boost your training performance with some little tricks that you do to your body. So if you wake up the central nervous system before the training, some stuff like this. So the leg workout we did in the Saturday. So it was a Saturday, it was 3 leg workouts in one day. We start the first workout at 9 a.m. It was the toughest workout according to the intensity. So we lifted really heavy intensity, 92 to 95% of 1 rep maximum, but we only did 2 to 3 reps, and we did about 8 sets with long rest in between. So this workout was really just to wake up our central nervous system, and it does not fatigue the muscles that much because you're not using sources of fuel, so you're basically just using ATP and creatine phosphate that is already in your muscles. Once you finish the workout, it has to be short, so you warm up quickly, you build up the intensity, you do 8 sets by 3, and then you're done. In 45 minutes you have to be in and out of the gym. After finish this workout, you take about 3 hours of rest, and then you come back to the gym, or if you're in the gym you just have to lay down, read something, maybe take a nap, have a nice meal in between, and then you go for the second workout. The funny thing is that you don't have to warm that much for the second workout because you already did the range of motion. You did the warming up, the central nervous system is up, so you just need to get the body temperature up again. You just need to go like 1-2 sets through the basics, and then you're ready to go. And the second workout is all about functional hypertrophy, how Charles would call it. Now, I'm not a really big fan of the word functional, but in this word combination, it makes sense because you are lifting heavy weights. So it's kind of the function of the muscle is getting stronger, and because the intensity is lower, so it's about 80-25% of your 1 rep max. You can do 6 to 8 reps, so you have to push really hard, especially the last sets. So you have to go really all out, and the time under tension and the mechanical tension is really big. So basically you are building some muscle mass. So it is functional hypertrophy, or some kind of sweet spot between getting just stronger or getting this workout will deplete some glycogen storage, and it will test your mental toughness because towards the end you have to do like 4 sets of those. You usually combine, or you superset them. You get tired. And when you're lifting weights, it's nice if you change a little bit the way you squat. So we use the box squat for the first trainings, and for the second we did full squats with safety bar. So just to change the angle a little bit, just to change the pressure on the spine and on the knees and stuff like this. After this workout is done, you take a little bit longer rest, you take a nap, you go for a lunch. And then after another 3 hours you come back to the gym and you do the last workout. Charles Poliquin used to call it push the envelope, so you really go all out. You're building lactates, so you pick up like 6-7 exercises and you just go back to back. So you just go like leg press, leg extension, leg curl, lunges, step ups, jumps. You go rep range between 12 and 15 with as little rest as possible. And the idea behind this, because you already woke up your central nervous system, and in the second workout you activated all the other energy systems and your muscle fibers, you can go pretty strong on this workout. So in every workout every previous workout makes you stronger for the next workout. I've done this a couple of times, a couple different variations, and I have to say it works. It's not just in theory, it works. I did it on my own once, I did it with one of my coaches once, and I did it like I made a small workshop. It was the whole day. We did it, and yeah, everybody felt the same. Okay, this is just briefly. I don't want to talk about lifting weights too much. I still do, but I still lift weight, not talk about it. But this is going to be the cycling video. So let's go back to cycling, or any type of cardio in this case. It can be cycling, it can be being on Airdyne, it can be rowing, it can be running, it can be ski erg, it can be even swimming probably, or any kind of cyclic movement you think of. If you're talking about strength qualities when we're lifting weights, we have to talk about energy systems more when we talk about cardio. I will not invent anything new, so I'll just stick to what is already known. There are many scales that coaches and athletes use when they design and talk about training. So the 7 scale zone. Some coaches use just three zones. So like zone 1, which is really easy. Then zone 2, which is between 2 thresholds, the first and the second one, and then high intensity zones. Some coaches use 5 zones. I will use 7 zones. So let's just go quickly through those 7 zones. Zone 1 is basically a recovery zone. So nothing much is going on here. It just helps you to recover faster from the previous workout. Let's say you did a very hard workout where you built a lot of lactates and all the other waste products in your muscles and in your blood. So the recovery workout helps to flush them away, but there is little to zero adaptation according to progression in this workout. So yeah, you can do it, you have to do it, you will recover faster, but we cannot talk about adaptations. So you can use the recovery zone just to go, like I said, after heavy interval training or heavy weightlifting training, or in between sets when we're talking about cycling. So all the rests in this day I did was in the recovery zone. Maybe I pushed to zone 2 sometimes, but basically it was in the recovery zone. Then there is second zone, zone 2. It's the famous zone since Inago San Milan, the coach of Slovenian cycling superstar Tadej Pogačar, started to talk about it, how important this zone is. And yeah, basically, if you want to learn more, I made one video, but it was in Slovenian language. You can check Inago San Milan, you can check GCN channel, you can check Peter Attia. Everybody's talking about zone 2 now because it really is amazing stuff, and it's a magical zone. You can measure your zones. I suggest that if you're thinking seriously about training, then yeah, just go and pay to some lab. They're gonna test you. They have to do it with the mask, with the lactates. I did it 3-4 weeks ago, and I have to say that I was training too hard, too intense. When I was thinking I was in zone 2, I was already in zone 3, which is, I'm going to talk about it later. But you want zone 2, you want to build the volume in zone 2, so you start building new mitochondria, which are motor units in your muscles. So the more motor units you have, the bigger the engine, the more power you can produce, the more lactates you can tolerate and use for energy production. So yeah, zone 2, very, very important zone. You have to spend lots of time, especially if you have time. If you don't have time, then it's a different story. I will make another video about this. But yeah, if it's done correctly, it's a really, really good zone to train at. Then there is zone 3, which is kind of not to go there zone, because if you're training in zone 3 all the time, then not much adaptation according to mitochondrial level and mitochondrial production is happening here. You are already building lactates, and lactates can inhibit lipolysis, which means burning fat. And they figure out that if you're training in zone 4 or in zone 3, you build up almost the same amount of fatigue. But in zone 3, not much things happen, and then in zone 4, many things happen, okay? In zone 3, you would be able to stay 3, 4, 5, 6 hours if you would fuel correctly, okay? Then we have a zone 4. It's also called the FTP, like the functional threshold power, or the power recreational cyclists can sustain for about 40 minutes. and a professional cyclist for about an hour. You're building lots of lactates there, but your body can still use them to flush them away, so you don't feel that much pain and you can sustain the intensity, which is high enough for, like I said, 30-40 minutes if you're a recreational cyclist. Around this zone, there is also like a threshold heart rate, so anything above that, it's gonna start building more lactates than your body can replenish it, that your body can flush it away. So at some point it will build up to the level you won't be able to sustain the intensity anymore, and you will have to slow down. Another zone, zone 5, or the VO2 max zone. Just quickly, let's go through VO2 max. VO2 max, it's not the intensity as many people think. It's just a number usually measured in millimoles per liter per body weight per kilogram. So that is the amount of oxygen your body can absorb and use for energy in 1 minute. Okay? This is important, but even more important is the intensity that you can produce at this limit, at this heart rate. So once you go over the heart rate, you cannot absorb more oxygen. So you're kind of building oxygen uptake up to this heart rate, up to this intensity, and from here you can go harder, you can push harder, but you will not utilize more oxygen. So you have to understand this. So sometimes it is important that you push harder than this, that you get your body used to and your muscle used to the intensity. But anything above that, you're not training your VO2 max more than you would at this level. So yet you can build VO2 max intensity or VO2 max volume, as you will see later how I did in the training. Now, depending how much over this you push, it's gonna depend how long can you sustain at this level. So between 3 to 8 minutes you can go. So if you go really hard at the highest level of this VO2 max intensity, you would be able to go like for 3, maybe 4 minutes, and if you go at the lowest level, you would be able to sustain maybe 8 minutes. So if you know your FTP number, VO2 max is about 106 to 120% of your FTP. So let's say my FTP is about 300, so the maximum VO2 max intensity would be 360. We will see what's going on in the training. It's going to be very interesting, so keep watching this video. Then there is a zone 6. It's called anaerobic lactic energy system. That means the intensity is well beyond VO2 max and long enough that you start producing lactates, and you have to stop shortly after you bring the intensity up, because the buildup of lactates is so big that you cannot sustain the pain anymore. Yeah, you can just read about what's going on there, but because you use your ATP and creatine phosphate in your muscles in first 8 seconds or so, and you still want to sustain the intensity, your body has to find new sources how it'll produce it. But since your intensity that high, your body cannot find the sources to produce the energy that fast. So yeah, it will just build lactates up and then you'll have to stop. So that's the zone you usually puke when you're training this. Amazing. And the last one, there is zone 6. It's a neuromuscular or anaerobic alactic zone. That means flat out as hard as you can for about 8, maybe 10 seconds. Or if you're really loaded with creatine and you have long rest, maybe you could last 12 seconds, but that's a lot. But you have to quit before you start building lactate. So basically you don't get out of breath even in these 8 seconds. You get out of breath later because you have to, with your aerobic system, you have to recover and you build creatine back to your muscles, so you can do another burst of 6 to 8 seconds. Okay? So according to Charles Poliquin, the guy I was talking before, each previous workout will actually potentiate your nervous system, your central nervous system, and your muscles and your energy system, and you will be stronger in the workout that follows than you would be without the previous workout. Like I said, I've tried it a few times. It really, really works. Now, I have checked the internet. Yeah, I've Googled it. I've checked some PubMed stuff, not really scientific approach, but yeah, I did my best researches. I checked the YouTube also and the Facebook. To find if somebody did this like similar to me before. I couldn't find it. If you find it, just post it in the comment below. I tried to persuade my brother to do it because he's an ultra marathon runner, not just a recreational jogger. He actually won 2 years in a row, 100-mile with steep hills and trail runs and stuff in between. So yeah, I tried to, oh, congratulations, Jose, if you're watching. So I tried to persuade him, let's go, because you really need all the intensities and you have to be able to train all day. He was for it, he was interested, but we couldn't find the right timing for it. So either it was the weather was really bad, what an excuse, or it was too close to the game, to his running, to his competition or race or whatever, or it was just after, or he had his own plan because he really is top level. He's like winning all those stuff running for 22 hours, and yeah, so we couldn't really find the time that would fit in. I hope, Andrea, someday you will be interested in doing this training with running. We have to film it. Anyway, enough about Andrzej. He's a master. I love to train, okay? I love to create my own stuff, the new ideas, and the most important, I don't mind suffering in the gym, that is. And the idea was born, why not to do it on a bike? I really love to cycle, really any kind of cycling, even mountain biking. I go to work by bike every day and I work on different places in Ljubljana. I have a road bike, I have a Zwift, I have watt bike. Actually, I don't have it, it's in my gym, so I use it a lot. So yeah, just give me a bike and I will be happy, I promised. Like I said, I don't even own a car. I borrow it from my mom if I need it. So just to take kids somewhere. I wouldn't use it for my own. So I've been thinking how to do it, how hard, what the intensity levels, how many intervals, what type of workout for each workout. But since it was the first time I tried it, I will never do it again like this. I will do it again because it's amazing, but I will never do it in the same structure again. So I will use the same energy system, but I will use different protocols. So yeah, I've decided to go with the basics. I was waiting for the right moment. A weekend, it had to be weekend because I work every day. A rainy one, otherwise I would be outside, and kids should be at my grandparents or wherever, not in my possession. And yeah, that was the weekend. I was praying for the rain, first time probably in my life. So the second thing, what will I do in each workout? What will I eat before, in the middle, and after each workout? And lastly, what exactly am I trying to prove? And to whom?
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Well, I try to prove that it works, that it really, you can get better from workout to workout. You can break your own records if you do each workout correctly. You don't get too fatigued, you have the right nutrition, and you are kind of mentally crazy that you really do that. So my goal was to do each workout between 40 and 45 minutes. So that was the theory. But as you will see, it didn't really go as planned. I had two options. Because I worked from 8 o'clock in the morning until 11, I could do my first workout at 11. But that means the second workout would be at 3 and the third workout would be later. And waiting for all those workouts would make me nervous. So I decided I will go to the gym earlier in the morning. I will finish my workout before I start with my clients in the gym. So I started the morning with a cold shower, like every morning for the last 10 years probably. I had a nice breakfast, so eggs, because I didn't want to get hungry. If I only eat cereals in the morning, then I get hungrier quicker. And I knew that after finishing the workout, I won't be really able to eat because there will be clients in the gym. So I had 3 eggs, I had cereals, and I had my morning coffee. Did I have something else? I don't remember. I have decided I will not take any stimulants except coffee. I will only drink water or L-carnitine that I have in the fridge in my gym. And if there will be crisis that I will really feel that my legs are burning out, kind of going on empty, I will take a gel with me. I had gels, but that is it. I had to finish the workout before 7:30, so I started 6:15, something like this, just to play it safe. So I woke up at 5 o'clock, ate my breakfast, had my coffee, went to the gym. For the first workout, I chose zone 6 intervals. So this is to really wake up my nervous system, but also show my body that there will be some lactates in my blood, in my muscles. So I tried to wake both up, the central nervous system, the white muscle fibers, and also start producing some lactates and really high bursts of lactates. So I was doing 8 sets with 30-second sprint and 3 minutes and a half recovery in between. Zone 6 in theory lies about 200% over FTP. So my FTP is at about 300 watts, and I know then times 2, it's 600 for zone 6 and above. So yeah, I decided I will stay well above 600 watts. And also one thing I promised to myself, the last interval of each workout will be all out, flat out, whatever is left in me. So for the first 7 intervals, I did 630 watts or so. And the last one was 800 and something. Yeah. The funny thing was that the warming up didn't go as planned. I thought I would warm up in like 10 minutes and then just go. It took me like 30 minutes to warm up. So yeah, the training was a little bit longer, but everything else was like going smoothly. So I managed for 7 intervals, 630 watts, and for the last one, I pushed really hard. It was 840 for average, which was okay for me at the moment. After that, I think I had one flapjack. I drank all the fluids I had to, and then I was working 3 hours in the gym, standing, walking around, coaching, teaching. So it was semi-private, it was one group, it was one private, and I had some things to do. So I was not sitting down, I was not resting, and I was nervous because I didn't, but yeah, you have to do what you have to do. Then after all the work in the gym was done, I took like 10 minutes, lifted my legs up just to relax a little bit. And I have decided to do the second workout, VO2 max intervals. Now, if you Google VO2 max intervals, you will find countless of options. But if you will start searching and you will narrow it down, you will see mostly 4x4. So that means 4 minutes at the VO2 max pace with 4 minutes rest and 4 sets like this. My VO2 max intensity, it's like this. It's around 370 watts. When I was testing the previous times, my FTP, I could hold for 5.5 minutes at 390 watts. So I just wanted to play it safe a little bit, and I decided I'm gonna stay at 365 for first 3 sets. And then I didn't know what to expect. Maybe I will be fatigued from the previous workout. Those intervals are not easy. Those are kind of hard intervals. So I decided, okay, for first 3, I'm gonna push it through, and then I will see what will happen in the last interval. I was discussing this workout before with a colleague of mine who is a PhD in sports science. So he was in the gym, and he knows a lot about VO2 max. So he told me, if I stay at the right intensity, the first 2 intervals will feel easy. I will start getting into trouble on the half of the 3rd interval, and I will have really big troubles on the 4th if I will not decrease the intensity. Okay, fair enough. I went to the bike, start warming up, and it was much harder than I expected. So the warm-up was longer again, but I didn't mind. I had time. After this, my work was done. Kids were not around. So the warm-up took like 20 minutes just to get my legs spinning and then heart rate up and start sweating and then build intensity. So it was a little bit longer. With all the things my friend Uroš said, I've decided to do like intervals 360 watts. First interval, it was very easy. Yeah, it was like a walk in the park. 360 something watts, spinning the wheel, very easy. 4 minutes rest, and I said, okay, another interval like this, and then I will probably start feeling it. The second interval, it was easier. Really, I could push harder, but my mind was playing tricks on me a little bit. And with my friend's statement, I said, okay, I will stick to the plan. I will not push now because I want to finish the workout. I wanted to build the volume. And then during the rest, the 4 minutes, when the interval was approaching, I was really thinking either to push a little bit harder or a little bit less because I didn't know what's going to happen. So I started with the same intensity, looking at the clock, looking at the watts, looking at the cadence. Minute 1, very easy. Minute 2, very easy. Minute 3, still easy. And then the minute 4 came, very easy. Maybe I could go harder. I don't know, I didn't go, but there was the 4th interval coming. So I was like, okay, let's just play it safe. Maybe the 4th interval is going to be hard. But as on the first workout, I made up my mind that the last interval is going to be the hardest. So I started a little bit stronger with 380 watts and waiting what will happen in minute 1. Nothing, so I've pushed harder and the average went up to 390 watts. After 2 minutes, still good. Breathing was high, heart rate was going well above my measured max. It was really strange. My measured max heart rate was 172 and also the calculated 172. I was cycling at 173 and feeling fine. That was really strange. I was really feeling fine after 3 minutes. So the last minute I pushed really harder and I finished with 400 watts. So I was pushing close to 500 the last minute. It was really easy. It was interesting that nothing happened. I didn't feel tired. I mean, it was hard. Of course it was hard. I was pushing hard. I was breathing heavy, but I didn't feel horrible. So it was really amazing. And I set new record in 4 minutes, 400 watts. Okay. I'm not saying it was easy. It was not. It was hard, but I was in a different zone. I'm not talking about zone 1, zone 2. I was in the zone. I was just pushing harder. And like I said, I didn't take any supplements. I just had coffee. Oh yeah, that was coffee 15 minutes before I sat back on the bike. And I had one gel in between interval 2 and 3 because I was feeling that I'm getting empty. Okay. After training, I knew I have to pedal in zone 1 for additional 10 minutes just to clear the blood, lactates and other side products that were produced during that intensity. After that training, I felt strange, like I've lost some motivation to do the last training. I knew, and I still know that I suck at FTP intervals. Those are my worst, and those burn the most, especially if you do them right. I was just laying around in the gym, eating flapjacks and drinking water, but I knew I have to go for a lunch. Usually I'm quite strict with what I put in my mouth, but I was on my way to buy a new cycling shorts and jersey because I only have one from 2010 and I got one in the previous season when I was represented Slovenian e-cycling team on the e-bike. I'm still trying to figure out, should I be proud of that because I was representing Slovenia or worried because they put me on the e-bike? Anyway, as I was walking toward the cycling store, I noticed a Japanese restaurant where they serve ramen. The food I only ate once in my life, and I couldn't really remember how it was. I just thought it would be a good meal because it's a soup, it's lots of fluids, then it's some meat, some veggies, and that's it. What a mistake that was, really. I seemed to order fried shrimps instead of pork, I don't know why. And there was a cooked egg, probably from the Easter, which was like 2 months ago. I felt sick after eating that and I was still hungry. I didn't know, should I throw up or put something else in my mouth? It was a disaster. So I went to the store, I bought new cycling shorts and went back to the gym. I lay down there and I tried to digest that crap I just put in my mouth. I had 2 bananas with me and a fruit gel, so I ate that, had a strong coffee, which helped me to get those shrimps out the other way it came in. And I felt better after that. There was no more taste bad in my mouth. My stomach was okay, but my legs were really empty. Anyway, I knew the workout is coming and I knew how hard it's going to be. And I knew that it's not so unusual if you puke. So the last part really motivated me. I just wanted to get that ramen out of my mouth either way. I sat on a bike. Warming up was not easy, and I was really figuring out on which side of the bike I want to put the bucket, for the shrimps. The plan was to go 2 sets of 16 minutes interval with 8 minutes rest in between. Now, I know that I can hold 285 watts for about 30 to 40 minutes easily. That's easy. If I'm fresh, if I didn't do 2 trainings before, and if I didn't have that shitty lunch. So, with that in mind, after our long warm-up, it was really, the warming up was probably the hardest part, even mentally. Just pushing in zone 2 was hard, so that was like playing tricks on my mind also. So the first interval was not too bad. I didn't feel strong. And the last 4 minutes, that was a struggle. That was a struggle within, because it got hard. My heart rate went up. I was feeling empty and I was still thinking about the next interval that is coming. I finished it. I finished at 284 watts, I think. But the biggest problem was 8 minutes rest in between, because I just wanted to step off the bike. I had so many excuses, but no matter how many excuses were there, I had one set to do. And as in previous workouts, make the last one the best one. So the first interval was done at 285 watts and I didn't feel so comfortable. So I had to decide how I'm gonna finish the last interval. But I wanted to finish it stronger, and I just say, okay, 290 watts. I'll just go for 1 or 2 minutes and then I see what happens. Even if I step off the bike, I did a lot. And then I pushed 290 watts for 2 minutes, but I had a gel. Just after I finished the first interval, I had a gel and some fluid over, that's it. Okay, so when I was pushing 290 watts, I felt stronger. So I said, let's just bring that average up to 300 and then I will just stick to 300 as long as I can. When my average starts falling under 300, I will just step off the bike. So for another 3 minutes, I was pushing. I saw my heart rate actually kind of started to drop and go back again, but it was staying and my watts were above 300 watts. So I have decided to push a little bit harder. It was my last intervals. And the average was 310 in 10th minute. So there was only 5 minutes to go. Okay, I never count the last minute. So it was 10 minutes, 5 minutes to go, and last minute is always sprint. So you never quit in the last minute. When I was lifting kettlebells, you know that when you come to 9 minutes, you're done, because the last minute is the sprint. So you never count that. So if the interval is 4 minutes long, you count 3 minutes and last one is sprint. If you fail on the last one, you're a pussy. Sorry. Anyway, there is the interesting thing was going on. I was thinking, okay, so I have 5 minutes to go. I will sprint on the last minute. Just keep pushing. And then the minute after this, the average was 312. And I was feeling strong, I was feeling fresh, I was feeling motivated. I can't really describe what was going on, but I kept pushing. And I was just looking at the watch, looking at the timer, and somehow the last minute came along. I was at 315 watts, something like this, and I said, okay, let's go all out. And I was pushing well above 400 watts, easily. I have no idea how, I have no idea why, but I finished at 320 watts. I have no idea what was going on. This was different zone, like Twilight Zone or whatever it was. But I felt I was riding on a cloud, or creating a storm. I don't really know. So to sum it up, I got exactly what I wanted. I have shown to myself that it is possible to do it. But you may ask now, why to do 3 workouts? Why not just go for a ride and do intervals during that ride? And this is a fair question. But that ride should last at least 6 hours, which is not impossible. I've done longer rides than this. But in one ride, there is no way that I could do the intensity and that I could feel the same benefits and that I would be able to push so hard. Okay? I wouldn't be able to do this 6-hour ride on the trainer inside on the indoor cycling, so I would have to go out. I don't think it is possible to do trainings like this outside because of the cars, because of the hills, because of the ups and downs. So yeah, I did it on the bike, and I'm really happy that I did it and that I've shown to myself that this is possible, and you can break new records, set new records in the same day if you separate 3 workouts. Start with highest intensity, then the middle one, then the easiest one with the lowest intensity. Okay, I hope you like this video. If you have some questions, ask me in the comment below. Please subscribe, share this video. I will try to improve the editing of the videos and also the content. I will do more of those. And I will do it in English more often, especially if I will see the reach of the video is getting bigger. Okay, thank you for watching. Again, subscribe and keep training.